It's a gorgeous morning, and I want to welcome you all to Northgate Hall, the Graduate School of Journalism. My name is Neil Henry. I'm a professor on the full-time faculty and dean of the school. It's my pleasure to introduce and moderate the coming festivities over the next 90 minutes or so. And as I begin to do so, I'm thinking about an old saying. I think it well captures my sentiments as I reflect on everything the students sitting behind me here have accomplished since their arrival 2 years ago in the late summer of 2008. You've probably heard the saying, luck is the residue of design. The person who first spoke those words was a man named Branch Rickey. Those of you old enough to remember or recognize that name know that Rickey was a baseball pioneer, the executive and general manager responsible most famously for signing Jackie Robinson to play for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947. A couple of years after that historic move in baseball, Rickey gave a lecture in which he said the following words: "Things worthwhile generally don't just happen. Luck is a fact, but should not be a factor. Good luck is what is left over after intelligence and effort have combined at their best. Negligence and indifference are usually rewarded with an unlucky seat. The law of cause and effect and causality both work the same with inexorable exactitudes. Luck is the residue of design." Here at Berkeley's Graduate School of Journalism, things have been changing at a breakneck pace over the last couple of years. These students sitting behind me have been at the very heart of nearly every one of the changes, the experiments, the adventures that have characterized every moment of their time with us. For example, these are the first students in the school's nearly 50-year history to be required to undergo boot camps to learn, practice, and excel at cutting-edge digital storytelling skills. It's not an easy thing. As part of this training, they were also the first class in history to seize opportunities to imagine, to create, to engineer, report for, and edit local news sites dedicated to serving neglected towns in the San Francisco Bay Area. Not an easy thing. They threw themselves as reporters in local communities in ways that few of their predecessors ever did or were ever asked to do. Not easy, but they did it, and they did so joyously. As we all know, the news industry has been in crisis in recent years. Many journalism jobs have been lost as the industry has struggled to find a way to maintain its relevance in the lives of ordinary citizens in the internet age. The students here answered a call. They believe, as we do on the faculty, that schools of journalism are more vital today than ever in ensuring the health of a free society. In a time of crisis, it's our duty to stand up and serve the public as never before, and to provide young people with the tools and professional versatility they need to do the important work of holding our officials accountable, shining light on wrongdoing, and telling people the truth. The new directions the school has been charting in response to the needs of the public and the industry have certainly been by design. But design can only go so far without the will, energy, the dedication, and talent of those who share the dream and this vital common purpose. And it is in this very endeavor that good fortune often can emerge, the luck that is the residue of design. Who knew that in the election night of 2008, and with it came the rise of the first African-American president in history, these students would be firsthand on the scene at polling stations, victory headquarters, cafes, bars, reporting in video, audio, text, still images, and other media for the school's news sites. That's called engagement with the people. Who knew the citizens themselves that night, touched by their experiences, would contribute their own work to the school's brand new sites just to be part of history in the making? Who knew that when an elderly woman in Oakland's Chinatown, fearful of the police, turned to one of the student news sites to report her of experiences of being mugged, that an Oakland police officer reading the report on our site would contact her through it to offer and give help? These are the kinds of things that public interest journalism operating out of a great university are for, I think, to report the news to the people, large stories and small, to help build and rebuild a sense of community. As the students learned new forms of reporting, they practiced reporting and often did so in dazzling ways. They have been at the leading edge of reporting on California's state budget crisis, for example, and its effects on public education. This story, indeed, as you can tell by the sound outside this very courtyard, has been a recurring one for the past 2 years. The students, staff, and faculty share the concerns of many about job losses and other hardships, for we know that California is a far greater place with a bigger dream than our current realities reflect. These are arduous and unjust times for many. We as journalists and educators know this as well as anyone. But throughout it all, we also share an undying belief that this great public university that has long been one of the mightiest engines for social and economic mobility in the world must remain so. And so we dedicate ourselves to working in our own best ways to keep that compact with the public alive. The students traveled far to seek out and report for the public interest about a range of issues all over the world: child labor, women's rights, police abuse, migrant workers, and war refugee experiences in places as far-flung as India, Kenya, South Africa, Mali, Japan, Italy, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and the Central Valley of California. They also had a hell of a lot of fun. Late nights with pizza and beer here, creating their works of magic, that was fun. I remember the launch of Mission Local, the news site in San Francisco 2 years ago, and the joy and pride with which the students spread the news throughout the city. That was fun. And it was really fun throughout these years to see them learn and practice the skills we value so deeply here: magazine writing, documentary, radio, multimedia, television, photography, investigative reporting, among others. The students did this by design, certainly. They are, after all, very intelligent young people with crafty and imaginative minds. But it was through their initiative, enthusiasm, and courage that a great deal of well-earned luck emerged as well. Luck in finding stories, luck in discovering and getting to know wonderful people around the globe to write about, luck in being able to feel the unsurpassed joys of working in journalism, a field that one of my colleagues, Professor Cynthia Gorney, so aptly calls, quote, the best life ever. So as I stand here before you now, thinking about all the creativity, the long hours and happy chaos that the students threw into Northgate Hall, I'm also wondering if perhaps the idea of luck is much broader than I realize. I'm very proud to be a member of one of the finest staffs and faculties of journalism that can be found anywhere in the world, and I must say the truth is really this. If, as Branch Rickey said, luck is indeed the residue of design, we who spend our time teaching and working at this little school in Berkeley have been, in many ways, the luckiest of all. After all, we are the ones who have had the good fortune all along to have with us these past 2 years the exceptional members of this pioneering class. We asked a lot of them, but believe me, they gave us back more than we ever could have dreamed. So with all this as prelude, and in recognition of their talent, their hard work, and most of all, their leadership for the classes that come behind them at Northgate, I ask you now to join me in celebrating them.